What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now right here I am going to be making the Giga Croc or Monster Croc from Skull Island on Netflix. Now what we're going to need is some crocodiles, but not any crocodile will do. We're going to have to go back in time and get some certain type of crocodiles. Now first up we have the Sarcosuchus. And next up is the Capra. Now I'm just going to call this Capra because I have a hard time saying the full name. Now yes, these are from Jurassic World's mini line. And what we're going to be doing, if the camera would focus, is we're going to remove this one's head, legs, and arms and replace it with these ones right here. And to do that, we are going to need an X-Acto knife, super glue, and some green stuff. Now we're going to use the green stuff to do for his chest and to fill in any gaps that we might end up with. So let's go on and get started. Alright, now we're ready to paint. And starting off with is dark gray prime. Now we're going to go to the underbelly and use a light gray. Now for the upper body, we're going to use a mixture of dark blue and gray mix. Alright, now we're going to move on to the back spines, and that is just pavement. Now we're going to need a paper towel, so we're going to do a black wash. Now we're going to put the matte varnish on. Alright, the matte varnish is dried. I let it sit overnight. Now, I went for that more realistic look if the camera would stay focused. Now, the eyes and teeth. The eyes were painted with bright yellow. Teeth were bone color, or in my case, antique white and caramel mix. Now, before anybody asks, I did not paint these back spikes the same as the top ones because on most animals, the shoulders, if they have like spikes or anything, sometimes they're just like on the back right here where you have those little bumps being the same color. So that's why I left those like that. Give it that more realistic type look. Now I went for the size right here for the Monster Croc because in the show the size changes a couple times. Like when they first see it, its head was much longer than the grown adult that it ate, because it ate him in one bite. And when they first see it, it's more massive. The arms were just as big or even larger than the main characters. But when it goes on that running scene, chasing after them, and when it reaches out before they go over the waterfall, its hands were like no bigger than maybe their head, or just big enough where it would swoop down and grab them by the back of the shirt. So it's like it just, the size changed, or that could have been a different one that chased them. Like a younger one could have seen them and ran after them, while the larger, older one just kind of stayed in the mud. They don't really show anything, so we all think that it was just the same one. But that's why I just went on with the middle ground with the size. But we're going to talk about more of that with the size comparison. So right here, I have the others from the show. First up is the giant ant. Now the main characters were slightly taller than the ant, and so this I'm glad this ended up being taller than it, showing that it was probably like right here where eye to eye with the main characters when it was chasing them. But when you look at the length, it's like it's more massive than the ant. And this is actually longer than the others. But we're going to move on to our next one being the grass hedgehog. Now you're probably thinking this is more longer, but that's just because of the grass. That's not counting the body. We're counting just the body. And this is taller, but the people were taller than the grass hedgehog. But that could have been a young one as well, though, that the characters saw. So we're just going to move that on back. Next up is Dog. Now, Dog, I don't know if he was going to actually jump in and save the two boys or not, because he was right there on the beach watching everything when he was chasing them before Kong grabbed the monster croc. But with Dog being beside the main characters, they come up to like his shoulder, and so that puts him about eye level with them. And if he stands straight up and everything, if I could bend the legs, it would be about right here, but the legs will only get me right about right there. And when the show, it stood about like right here, so if it went straight up, it would be about as tall as Dog or more. But in this case, we're just going by the length, and Dog is much shorter just because the tail. If not the tail, they are actually in scale with each other and being the same length. But we never seen them get close to each other, so we don't know. We're just going by like the kids only came up to like his shoulder. The crocodile size kept changing through the chase scene. So we're going to move everybody out the way. But let me know what y'all think on like how I did and what y'all think about the size. If y'all think I'm right or not. and everything else. And I hope to see everybody next time.